Toronto Raptors newly acquired point guard Dennis Shroder is now officially with the team, and he had some very interesting quotes, some interesting comments during his first round of interviews, during his first presser, as he discussed being the leader of the Toronto Raptors and his expectations, his belief in himself as a starting caliber point guard in the NBA. So we'll break down everything Dennis Shroder had to say in his first presser as a Toronto Raptor. Additionally, Trae Young made some very interesting cryptic comments about a potential trade that could go down for the Atlanta Hawks. So we'll talk about what he had to say, including the CEO of the Atlanta Hawks. I talked about all the deals that have been on the table for the team and some they've turned down and what could potentially happen in the future. Because the Raptors, they've been linked to the Atlanta Hawks a bunch in recent reports. So it's interesting hearing the other side. So we'll break down all that in this video and a whole lot more. So without further ado, let's jump into the first topic of discussion. First thing we're taking a look at is Dennis Shroder wanting to lead the Toronto Raptors. He has some very high expectations for himself, and he let that be known in his first round of interviews with the team. And you know, some of this might excite some Raptors fans. Some people are taking some of his quotes different ways, so we'll break it all down. The first thing that he talked about is leading the group, talking about how he's a guy who's direct and talks to the guys whenever they do a mistake and tell them right on the spot. A lot of people took that the wrong way when I was young, but now I think everybody is realizing that I just do that to win. So Schroder is coming in and saying he wants to be a leader for the squad. He wants to be vocal. You know, he's one of the older guys in the locker room now at this point. You know, with some of the younger dudes, we still have, you know, Siakam, Pirtle, who's a vet. OG still has a lot of experience now at this point, even though he's still relatively young. But Schroeder's going to be coming in here now, the PG for the team, and wanting to let people know, right, how to work, how to grind. And you know, some people criticize Fred VanVleet for directly going at younger players, specifically Scotty Barnes, and leading to a divide in the locker room. But, you know, you need some of that veteran leadership. And hopefully Dennis Shroder, especially his comments, which we briefly talked about, how he wants to, you know, build a relationship with his teammates on and off the court, you know, come in and be a positive voice. It's good to have that mix. Your veterans holding people accountable, but also having relationships with the younger guys. So Dennis Schroeder's looking to come in and be the leader for the Toronto Raptors, which I welcome, especially if Fred VanVleet gone, and hopefully his voice will be heard. He won't get tuned out by the younger players. He also talked about, you know, what his expectations are for the season, as I believe I've played with a lot of great players over the past 4 or 5 seasons. And this year, I want a situation where I could handle the ball a little bit more. And I think with my teammates now, the length that we have, how we can defend, and the style we have, a great situation for me. Being a veteran out there, making sure the young guys can be great. So Schroeder's basically saying, I've been with you know, he's bounced around a little bit in recent seasons. Most recently with the LA Lakers, obviously LeBron James on that team. D'Angelo Russell was a guy that was highly touted, you know, for the course of the regular season. Schroeder ended up taking a starting spot as the season went along, especially come playoff time. But Schroeder is getting more of an opportunity with the Toronto Raptors, especially with Fred VanVleet gone. Now, some people are looking at this and saying, hey, he wants the ball in his hands. Well, we want the ball in Scotty Barnes' hands more. We want the ball in OG Anunoby's hands more. Whatever side you're on the OG, Pascal, Scotty Barnes drama, everything that's happening as is, right? We're going to assume everything the roster's currently is constructed. Right? Oh, does Schroeder really want the ball? Yes. Schroeder's a point guard. He needs the ball in his hands. It's how he's most effective. Whether he's starting or coming off the bench, he's going to need the ball in his hands. And I think it's good having a point guard that's sort of ready to go. Like if the Raptors were just solely relying on Scotty Barnes to be the only point guard, right? With risks like Jeff Doughton, who definitely looked amazing as a two-way player last season, but given a full-time role, still yet to be seen. Malachi Flynn hasn't been able to flourish with, you know, not the most opportunity, but he was given some opportunities last season. Didn't really flourish with it. You know, Marquise Noel had a very hot first game of Summer League, cooled off as the games went along. So having Dennis Schroeder to come in, be a ball handler, be given an opportunity. If he's not starting, he's the clear sixth man for this team. I'm cool with his comments there. Now, the starting question is another thing, because our most talented lineup is Scotty Barnes, Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, Jakob Poeltl. Made that known, we've discussed that, we've talked about it, but Schroeder also came out and said that I've proven over the years I can be a starting point guard. And those young guys who are really talented, Scotty Barnes, OG Anunoby, and the other guys, I think we can be competitive, and that's what I'm about. Now, I just talked about our most talented starting five, and this is something other people are reading to, and we're going to talk about the Siakam drama in the second half of this video, but Siakam wasn't named in that list of players. He's really excited about being with the young dudes and OG Scotty Barnes. Does he know something we don't? Some people are reading into that, but he mentioned how he's a starting caliber point guard. Does that mean that, Masai guaranteed him to come in? Hey, you're going to be the PG for this team. Darko Rajakovic, who's been a coach for him, and we'll talk about their relationship now as well. Hey, you're going to be the starting guy. You're going to be given the reins to the squad. It's an interesting thing to look at because Gary Trent Jr. has notoriously not been that great off the bench for the Toronto Raptors, performs much better as a starter, and he just signed in a player option. Raptors are in a very weird spot right now. So, interesting quote there from Dennis Shroder, and I brought up his relationship with Darko Rajakovic. Basically, he was my workout coach when I'm speaking as Dennis Shroder right now. When I went from Atlanta to OKC, we grabbed dinner on the first night with my wife, and he's European. The Europeans handle things a little bit different than the American guys. I'm used to that. He knows who I am. I know who he is, and I think that goes a long way. For people that don't know, also Dennis Shroder is from Germany, so plays for Team Germany, all that, so there's the European relationship there. And of course, you need always a great relationship with the coach, especially as a point guard. And I think and Schroeder also figures his willingness to get on teammates if necessary mirrors Rajakovic's style. I don't think that's how Darko operates. I think that's how Darko operates as well. That's another reason why I signed with the Toronto Raptors, because I know there's no BS with him. It's always straight up. He's going to tell me how it is, if it's good or bad. So that's great news to hear. This is not really about Dennis Shroder, but more about Darko. Nurse was pretty subliminal in his criticism of players. It was talked about how we go to the media first before talking to them directly. It's nice to know that Darko Rajakovic has a reputation of talking to the players when they're doing something wrong and not just throwing some shade, being, talking behind their back, all that type of stuff. So that's nice to hear. But lots of interesting quotes from Dennis Shroder. What are your thoughts on his sort of role, his position with the team next season? Some people are taking it different ways. I'm pretty happy with his approach, his mindset coming in this team, but the starting situation could get a little bit tangly, especially with Gary, Scotty, and obviously Dennis in the mix for that sort of backcourt roles. But the next thing we're taking a look at in this video is Trae Young's cryptic messages about trades. And Trae Young, right, for people that don't know, superstar, or definitely a superstar in terms of notoriety, star presence and all that in terms of people who know him. Big with the kids. Everyone loves Trae Young. But basically, Atlanta Hawks main guy, franchise player. He came up on a podcast and talked about potential deals, and I'll just straight up show what he had to say.
And some of the young guys, Jalen Johnson getting more minutes now. But, obviously the summer's not over yet, too. Right. So who knows what we're going to do and, how it happens. Because that's the NBA. You never know. The next day, something crazy can come out, and a big trade or a big signing can happen, and who knows, we could be the next team that gets something or make some.
So he's basically referring to Atlanta as a team that you never know could potentially be in the mix for one of these big trades, get one of those big names. And obviously I don't know if he could just be addressing the rumors, if he knows something more than we do, as fans of the teams and all that sort of stuff. But basically, Pascal Siakam's been linked to the Atlanta Hawks for the past month. Some people are speculating that a deal's already done and they were waiting for Kobe Buffkin to be trade eligible. Who really knows here at this point? But the CEO of the Atlanta Hawks also had some discussions on the situation, coming out and saying that that they've been calling teams to potentially make more trades, and they have been close on some deals, but they have fallen through for one reason or another. So, things aren't put to bed for the Atlanta Hawks. They're not staying clear. They're still looking to make moves, still looking to make deals. The cryptic messages, there's also the Instagram drama going on with Trae Young following Pascal Siakam a couple weeks ago, and then Pascal following him back just a couple days ago. So there's a lot of smoke. There's a lot of stuff potentially going on in the air there with the Atlanta Hawks. I don't know. Kobe Buffkin would be cool. AJ Griffin would be cool. I'm still not that intrigued by those types of returns for a Pascal Siakam player at that caliber of player. DeAndre Hunter's also nice, and he deleted all of his Instagram posts and all that sort of stuff. But we're sort of reading into rubbing tea leaves, whatever the heck the analogy is. We're at that point in the season because Michael Grange is making it feel like trades are imminent. We got sources coming left, right, and center. We don't know what's on the go. We just have to wait and see, and we'll be covering all the tea leaf rubbing here on the Raptors Digest. So if you want to stay up to date with everything regarding the Toronto Raptors, definitely hit that subscribe button. It means the world to me. We're really close to 29,000 subscribers. I don't know how many people made it to the end. Let me know in the comments if you made it to the end. But, we get to that 29K sub mark. We're getting inching close to that milestone of 30K. So, appreciate every single one of you. You guys are the best. I'm signing out. Cheers.